Ladies and gentlemen, you're most welcome once again. With you again is Pastor Francis. Today we're going to be looking at the overview of Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is one of the packages of Microsoft Office. It is an application which is used for document formatting. So whenever you want to start Microsoft Word, the first thing you have to do, you have to open the Windows Start menu, and then you check in all the programs. You scroll down and you look for Microsoft Word, which is which has the icon W for identification. As you can see, Microsoft Word, it has W icon. If you can't get here, you can go ahead and type W in the search box, and then you see Microsoft Word will appear on top here. The other thing, you can press Windows key on the desktop on your keyboard, and then you still get Microsoft Word. So after that, when you get the application, what you do, I encourage you to go ahead and open it. So whenever you open Microsoft Word, you will get the first interface. The first interface that you get for Microsoft Word will look like this. You get the layout which look like this. On your layout, you will see the first button, which is talking about the blank document. So the other buttons is about like the recent documents or the recent templates. The templates, and then different recent documents which are here. We have pinned, and then we have shared documents. Then we have these other icons here. Like the first one is the new, which enables you to create a blank document, and then we have the available templates. If you don't want to use any of this, you can then go ahead and search, type any of the template that you want to use. Maybe I want to get a template about the CV. You type that one into the search box, and then you search online. You get a lot of templates for the CV, so you can go ahead and select one. When you select one of the template, you get this dialog window that will pop up, and then it will have a button for create. So what you do, go ahead and hit on create, and then you get something on your desktop which looks like this, and that is going to be like the sample of the CV, which you can use whenever you want to do it, whenever you want to update your CV and make sure that you put a lot of changes. The other thing we get is the open. Open is a tool which enables you to open any file inside your machine. This file could be a Microsoft Word document, and have to be in one of the drives on your PC. We looked up about the file explorer, so you need to browse and find out where is your file that you want to open is. Is it on the desktop? Is it in the library? Is it on a disk drive? Is it on the network? Like you can see, I have the network here. Is it on a network? So whenever you have something like, maybe I want to open this document, which is sample one, and it is found in the document library, so you select that. After selecting, then go ahead and select open, and then you see the document will open. So apart from opening, we have info. The info has different tools. The first one is, it gives you the chance to protect your document by encrypting it with a password, restricting the editing, adding digital signature, marking it as final. And then we have the checking different issues like the accessibility and the compatibility. Then we have the version, document management, and then the add-ins. So we can always check all this, like we can protect our document by entering the password, so that every time you want to open, you need to put the password. For example, in this document, which is saying sample one, I can separate the password, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I press OK. I put the password again, 1 2 3 4 5. Then I press that. When I do that, it means I've already protected the document. So if I try to cross this one and then I try to cross that, then from there, if I want to go ahead and open, I go to a document, then I go to sample, I open the sample. When I try to open it, they will tell me you have to supply the password, you have to enter the password in order to open this file. So if I don't have the password now, it becomes hard for me. Even if I put any other password and I try to open, of course I will get an error. They will tell me, hey, the password you're putting is not correct. So I have to put the right password in order for me to open the document. So from here, what I'll do, I'll go ahead and cross this again, then I open it again. After that, I'll put the right password, which is 1 2 3 4 5. When I press OK, then the document will open. So this protection is something very important, because we know in whatever thing you're doing, like information is vital, and we have to make sure that it is kept safe. We have to always protect our data. We have always protect our information from unauthorized users. Then the other thing, we have two options. We have two tools here. The first one is save, then the other one is save as. So when do we use save and when do we use save as? Yeah, save, the difference between save and save as is that you use save as when you want to put the file name. Whenever you want to put the file name, that's when you use save as. This is the first thing you do. This is the first thing you do when you want to save a document. When you open a new blank document and then you start working, whenever you want to save, the first thing you do is save as, where you put the file name and then select the file type. After putting the file type, then from there you will go ahead now and say, hey, you save, and then you select the directory, the storage directory. After selecting the storage directory, then from there you go ahead and save. Now after doing all this, now if you have a document which has maybe like 12 pages, and then after you add another page to be 13, so when you want to save this page you have added, that's when you use save. Save is always the second. It comes when you already have the document named, you already have the data types of the document, which is Microsoft Word. That's when you go ahead and use save. So we can use these two, the save and save as, to always store our documents inside our computer. Then the other one is print. Print is something very important in Microsoft Word, because at the end of the day, when you're done with your work, which is in a soft copy, it is very important to understand and to know how you can convert that work into a hard copy, so it can easily be distributed by people who don't know how to use computer. Not everyone is so conversant with electronic devices. Not everyone can know how to use mobile phone or computer devices like laptop, desktop, and so on. So some people just know how to read just papers, even books. We have books in schools, we have books in every sector that we work on. So these books, first of all, before you get any book, a hard copy book, it must pass through what we call the soft copy, and this soft copy is how it have to be printed. So whenever you have a document, be it 1 page or 1,000 pages, you have to go to print, and then from there you get the two layouts. The first layout is the printer settings, then the second layout is the preview of how your document will look like. So on the printer settings, as you can see, we have the first one, which is the button that you hit whenever you want to order to command the print. Then we have this box. This is where you increase the number of copies. Like you have two arrows, the one facing up and then the one facing down. We use the arrow that is facing up when you want to increase the number of copies. We use the arrow that is facing down when we want to decrease the number of copies. Like if I use this one, I can click here to increase the number of copies, then I can click down to decrease the number of copies. Then down we have this where you have to add the printer. If you have the printer here, you can go ahead and select add the printer. Then you have a sample of the printer and Bluetooth devices. If you don't have, then you can go ahead and refresh to find any available printer if you are connected on a network. Once the printer is obtained by showing through the network, like you see, I already have this printer, so I can go ahead and connect this printer. So after connecting the printer, you have to put the pin for your printer, then everything will now be connected. So now, after knowing how to put the printer, how to put the printer, the other thing we're going to talk about is the other settings, like the number of pages. Is it the whole page, custom page? Then the paper orientation. The paper orientation can either be portrait or landscape, and then we say portrait or landscape. Then we have the type of paper. We have different paper types like the A4, B5, A5, statement, legal, letter, and so on. And then we have the margin. Of course, you need to also set the margins of your paper. Like normally, we recommend people to use the first one, which is the normal margin. Like every side, top, bottom, left, and right, they have 1 centimeter as the margin. And then we have the number of sheets. How many number of pages do you want per sheet? Like on one sheet of paper, how many pages do you have? Is it 1? Is it 2, 4, and so on? So after doing all this, after making all the settings on your printer, go ahead and hit print, and then from there you have to save the work. Right now I'm getting this message or this pop-up screen because my work is not yet saved. So you have to save by giving it the file name. For example, I'll give the name as Hassan. Where do you want to save it? I want to save it in downloads. When you click save, then from there the work will be saved, and then it will be sent for printing. So the other thing we want to talk about is how to share. You can share your file as a PDF via the OneDrive. That is if you want to share with some people on the network, but which are on OneDrive. OneDrive is a tool, is a storage tool in Microsoft, which enables you to store online data online, and you need to have an email address which is powered by Microsoft. That's Outlook email. So when you have an email, and then you will have access to OneDrive, so here you can easily save your work online on OneDrive. Then the other thing, you can send your work as an attachment, as Microsoft Word attachment. After that, when you click next, you have to go and put the email, put your name here, put the email address, and then type the password. After putting the password, then you go to next, and then your work will be shared with someone. So apart from that, we have export. You can now export your work as a PDF or XPS document, and then you can change the type of the file. Like right now I have Word document, but you can also change it to plain text or rich text format or single file web pages. All these are different file types that you can change. Then you can also send your document to Kindle. Kindle is something like something where you go and open an account with Amazon, and then you can send your work or your file. Maybe it's a document you want to sell it online, so you can always go and export direct to Amazon. Then the other thing is close. This one closes the interface, like when I click close and I click save the what. The moment I don't save, then this one will have to close what? We have to close the document. So the other one, the other option is the account. This one gives you the overview of the Microsoft account that you're using with this Office. Like this is, if this 365 or any other version, you'll also get to know. And if everything is up to date, if you have no license, if you have the license, everything will be shown in your account. The feedback is how do you respond to Microsoft? How do you rate them? Is their software okay? You have to make sure that you give a feedback. You need to make sure that you give a feedback that shows whether you like you like the software. Say I like something, I don't like something, or I have a suggestion. So you normally select out of these three options, and then you can give a feedback. Then we have the option. In the option, this is where you do a lot of configurations on word settings, which involves like the customized ribbon. You can have to select customized ribbon. We have general tools, display, proofing, save, languages, accessibility, advanced, customized ribbon. So like when you go to customize ribbon, then we have popular commands. These are the commands which we are going to look at in the tabs in the ribbon. We said in Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Publisher. Every tool, every application of Microsoft Office has what we call the ribbon. The ribbon is the way our files, our tools are organized. So each of these ribbon has the tabs, and whenever you see those tabs, they have different tools. So now, like you see here, all these are the tools. We have tools not in the ribbon. Like you see, some of all these tools are not in the ribbon. So what you can do, you need to go and for example, these are the main tabs in the ribbon. So you can create a new tab. Like I made a video on Excel, how to create tabs in Microsoft Excel. So but you can also create a new tab. So you can go ahead and select a new tab. You can select new tab, new tab, then give it in the name. So give the name, for example, I give the name it Tabby Talks. Then I press OK. So when I do that and then I press OK, now you see in my tabs here I have Tabby Talks. So if I go back to options, I can put some of I go to customize ribbon, then I can put a group like the new group. So in this group I can put some of the command not in the ribbon, get some commands not in the ribbon, then I add some, then I put them in this group. I get some, I put them in the group, because most of these commands, all of them, they are not in the ribbon. So I'm trying to add them because I've created a tab which is now into the ribbon. That's why now after doing that, now you can see when check on the tab I've just created, and then you see on the new group I've put the tools which are there, and these have not been in the ribbon. So under that this option, you can do a lot of configuration. This is where Microsoft Word settings is done. So after knowing how to deal with the file tab and each and everything here, the next thing is to go and open a new blank Word document. So when you open a blank document, this is the interface that you get. On your interface, the first one on top is what we call the quick access toolbar. We call it quick access tools. So in the quick access tools, this contains the tools that you can use like in Microsoft Word, to ensure that you get tools which you can easily use when you are dealing with Word documenting. This involves tools like save, automatic save, like the undo, redo, and so on. So you can always add more tools. Like, or you can see when you click on this down arrow, we have different options, and like we have new. Can click that. You can add something like open. You can add tools like quick print, can add tools like draw table, can add tools like touch mount. So for example, when I select draw table, it helps me to quickly draw a table. Like if I say print, you have to say like to print. If I say open, I have to open. So normally these are what we call the quick access toolbar. The quick access toolbar is like a toolbar which contains those tools that you can quickly access and use in the Microsoft Word. On the side we have this search box. This is where you search for anything in Microsoft Office. Maybe you want to search about tables, you just go ahead and type tables, and then you can see different things like add a table, insert table, then insert table with pictures, and then we have draw tables. So like if I want to say insert table, whenever you click on it, you get a table which is like this. So when you click on that, then you get the table that will come on the screen. So the other thing we are going to talk about is how to do what, how to deal with these other tools. We have the other tool on the side, on your right side, which is showing like your name, that is the account that we just saw in the file tab. Microsoft Word enables you to have an account. So you need to have an account which enables you to go direct on OneDrive and connect and get other services of Microsoft. Then we have these three icons. The first one is the minimize, then the other one is restore down, and then the other one is for crossing. So when you click on that, the minimize, it removes the page on your screen and minimize it. Then when you want to bring it back, you have to open it. Then this one restore, it reduces the page to a halfway, so that you can easily adjust. You can easily adjust, like you can just to any size you want. But if you want to restore to the whole screen, you can go ahead and restore that by clicking on maximize, and then it have to go back to its original screen for setup. So apart from that, on down here now, that's where we have the tabs. That's where we have the tabs. We go to a new page, that's where we have the tabs. So we have what we call the tabs. So these tabs, they are found in what we call the ribbon. Now all this, where we have file, home, insert, draw, design, page layout, and so on, they are what we call tabs, and they are found in the ribbon. Each of these tabs have what we call the groups, and each of these groups have what we call the tools. And these tools perform different commands. Each of these, they perform different commands. Like now I have the tabs, like the home tab, e.g. I'm going to say I have the one of the tabs, which is the home tab. When you look at the home tab, it has the groups such as clipboard. It has groups such as clipboard, and in the clipboard we have things like cut, we have things like copy, we have things like paste, and then format painter. Format painter. So all these are the tools. Now each of these tools, like cut, this one will remove the value. Copy, this one duplicates the value, whereas paste is the inserts the value which has the original value which has been either cut or copied. Then Format Painter, this is the transfer of properties, like it enables different properties to be transferred from one place to another. Then we have like the font still under the home page, under the home tab. We have things like the font, where we have the font name, the name of the font, we have the size, we have bold, we have italic, we have underline, and then we have things to do with what? We have to do things to do with the colors. We have the background color. We have things to do with the sentence, and then we have script. So all these are what we call the tools which are found in the font group. So in these tools, now you realize that most of these tools they are used in what? In Microsoft Word to perform different actions. We can use them when we are formatting our document. We can use them when we are doing a lot of things that are necessary in Microsoft Word. So it is very, very important to understand how to use all this whenever you are dealing with Microsoft Word. So the other thing we're going to talk about is these other tabs, like the insert tabs. When you go to insert tabs, it is a tab which enables you to insert different features in Microsoft Word when you're formatting. Like under the insert tab, we have groups like the pages, tables, illustration. We have add-ins, media, links, comments, and so on. And each of these group has the tools which also perform different commands. Like when you go to draw, the draw option, it gives you tools like the pen, and you can also convert different tools to another. Then we have design, and then we have page layout, and so on. So this is what we call the ribbon of tabs. A ribbon of tabs, we said, it is a group of tabs which contain different tools, and each of these tools will perform a certain command in Microsoft Word. So apart from this, the other thing we have is what we call the workspace. This is the place where you have to do all your work. Like each and every Office application, be it Word, Excel, PowerPoint, it has the workspace. This is where each and everything is done. So apart from that, then we have the taskbar. The taskbar is like the footer in Microsoft Word. This is where you have the properties about the document, that is like to do with the number of pages, the word count, the accessibility. Then on your right side of the footer, we have the zoom. We can zoom in and zoom out to enable the page either big or small. We can also select the view option, like when you select that one, it gives you the view the view of how you can view your page. Then you can also make it like, you can open it in the default settings. Then you can also open it like the whole screen. And then we talked about zoom. We have the zoom in and zoom out. All this one is the tool that you can use. So the zoom normally by default, the maximum is 500%, and then the minimum is what? Is 10%. So that is when you are using zoom in and zoom out. So the other thing we are talking about is after knowing how to deal with this, now we are going direct to something very important, and that is to do with looking how we can how to use all these tabs we have seen. We looked at the file tab, so we are going to start with the home tab. So a home tab is something very, very important. It is a tab which has been used over the years. It is a tab which has been used in all sectors. As long as you are using Microsoft Office, then the Home tab will is something you must be familiar with. If you have never used any app of Microsoft Office, now it is high time that you understand how to use the Home tab in Microsoft Word. So when you're using Home tab, it gives you the tools that you use to format your document. The first tool, which is called the clipboard. The clipboard is a tool, or is a group of tools, which will enable you to copy different files or different words from one place to another. Then it enables you to cut, it enables you to paste, and it enables you to use options like Format Painter. So when you have all these tools, we are going to look at how we can use. So to start with, I will go ahead and I'll go ahead and type some of the keywords, some of the words on my screen here, on my interface. So I will say, on this one, I'm going to say, I will type something like Tabby Talks is good. So when you type this one, now after that I want you to highlight it, and then after highlighting, normally when you want to use most of these tools, for you to use them properly, you need to first highlight or select the entire word that you want to perform action on. So here, what you're going to do, I want you to go and first go to the font. Now you can increase the size. So increasing the size, we have two A's. The first one, it has an arrow which is pointing up, and then the second one, it has an arrow which is pointing down. So you can either increase the size or decrease the size accordingly. And then after that, now you can do other options. You can use other options like bold. The bold enables you to make the word into strong. Italic is when you want to make the word into a slanting. Then underline, you can underline the word. We have different types of underline. You can just click there, you get a lot of underline. And then you can also change the font, the font color. You can put the color to be red, or when you click here, you have different color spectrum, so you can choose which color you want, and then you can apply it on the font. And then you have the background color. The background color is you have to select that very area where the word is, and then you choose the color or the background color of that text values. So after that, you can also change the sentence case. You either use sentence, lowercase, uppercase, upper. So we're going to see how we can use all this. But first and foremost, I want to see how to cut, copy, and paste this one. So maybe to do that, I'll go and generate something like this. Like you can get this CV. So I have this CV which I'm going to be using. So when you look at this, I want to copy this pharmacist. I want to copy that, so I'm going to highlight that. When I highlight it, then if like for example, when you highlight this, you in the clipboard you have 3 tools which are active. One is cut, copy, and format painter. Why are they active? Because they are waiting. Each of these tools are waiting. Hey, do you want to get cut is waiting to see if you want to use it. Copy is waiting to see if you want. Even format painter is waiting to see if you want it. Then from there, you can go ahead and do what? And say I want to cut. When you click cut removes the value. It removes the original value. We said that the difference between copy and cut is that cut will remove the original value. If I can try to undo, you can see I have the original value there. Now when I select cut, what it will do, it will have to remove this original. Then after that, I have to come and select where I want to put this the original value. Now that process of putting the value that you've selected, the process of putting that value that you've selected is what we call pasting. It is inserting. You're trying to insert the value which you have been removed from the other place and you put it to the final destination. So how do you do that? You go to home and then select paste. Now you can see the word will be pasted there. So we had it there. Now it is pasted here. What about if I want to go back? You can use undo to go back. So I have that. If I copy, now I come here, I paste it. Now the copying will pick a copy of that very value and then it will leave the original. That's the difference between cut and copy. Then the other thing is you can use what we call the format painter. You will be able to see what we have. Like you can check the format painter by using the properties of one value and then make them be inherited by another one. Like I have this one. When I highlight it, maybe I can try to make it bold. I can change the color of this to be green, and then I can make it italic, and I can also increase the size a bit. So when I do this now, if I want to use the format painter will pick all the properties of this and then it will be applied to what I will select. So I'm going to highlight this. After that, I click on format painter. Then after, when I hover the cursor on the sentence or the list of words that I want to apply this property, you can see something like a brush. So I go ahead and select that. The moment I erase, now I see why it's not okay. This is on the heading. I select format painter, then I come and do on that. I don't know why it's not working on that. Okay, I can use a new, create a new blank document, and this one I'm going to use this. So I'm going to highlight this. I can make it uppercase. I put the uppercase. What is happening? Uppercase, then I can increase the size. Increase the size, then I can copy, then I paste. That is pasting. Then I can go ahead and use this format painter, increase this, then increase the size. Then after I pick this, then I come and select that. Wow, I don't know this why is not working, but I can try and see format painter. I see I can get a new one. I get a new document. So after that, I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to increase the size of this. Then after I make this color, I make it bold. Then I have to put another one which is like this. So I have different words. The first one is bold and has the color yellow, green. Then this one is having the color which is black. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this. I highlight that. Then I select Format Painter. Then after that, I come and highlight on that. Now you can see I've changed automatically this, and it has inherited the properties of the first word. That's what we call, that's how we use the Format Painter. And then, of course, we talked about the font size. You've seen how I'm increase the size. You have to first highlight the word, and then you go and increase the size, increase font size, or decrease font size. We have these two A's. You can use either of the two. The first one, which is having an arrow that is pointing up, is for increasing the font size, and then the one which has arrow that is pointing down is for decreasing the font size. So you can either use that to reduce the size, or you can use that to increase the what? To increase the size. You can also use this sentence case, either lowercase or uppercase, or you can use capitalize each word that start, each character that will start a word. You can also use toggle case. Toggle case, that's where the first character of a word is small, and others becomes capital letters. And then after, you can do what you call text effect and topography. Here, this is where you add some flavor of your text by applying a text effect such as shadow or glow. Like I have this. If I want to add some effect, like a shadow, can use all these. We have outline, shadow, reflection, glow, and so on. Like when I select reflection, if you are now to see like this one, you say I have the main one, but it's being reflected. If you know about the reflection of light in physics, then you would understand what I'm talking about. So the other thing we are talking about is what do we call is something to do with the paragraph. Paragraph is another tool, is another group of tools in Microsoft Word under the Home tab. So we're going to look at how we can use all this one. So under the paragraph, I will first put the heading, which is talking about a list of teachers in TEBITOX. I will say list of teachers in TEBITOX. Then after, I'm going to remove this. I'll just use that one. So after that, when you look at this is my heading. I can underline it, highlight, then use U to underline. After underlining, the color is okay, everything is fine. Then I press enter to go to a new line. So when you go to a new line and then you start typing, anything you type will still come with an underline because you selected the underline and then you did not disable it. So if you don't want the underline to affect other sentence in the new lines, go ahead and click on underline to remove it. So now after, when you type anything, it will not have anything to do with the underline. So in this case, I'm going to use the paragraph. So in the paragraph, the first thing I'm going to do is what we call bullet. We have different types of bullet. So the bullet library has all these types of bullets. When do we use bullet? That's when we have what we call ordered and unordered list. Like we have a list of items, they can either be ordered or unordered. So we can use bulletin. Like if I say list of students, now I can either use numbered or bulletin. Number, that's where I say 1, the first teacher, second, third, and so on. So I can say bullet number 1, then I say Alex, that is 1. Alex Sam. Number 2, busy, James. Number 3, Hassan, men's. I can say the last one is the password frank. So here I'm using what we call bulleting. I use the bullets when I want to outline different items, but all these items must be related to the main topic, which is like, for example, here the list of teachers in TabyTalks. If I want to change the type of bullet, I have to press enter. I go to a new line. Of course, you get the same bullet, but press backspace to remove that. Then you go back to the bullet types and select the type of bullet you want, and then you get another bullet types, and then you can use it. If you want to change that one, still go to backspace on your keyboard, then remove that. Then you can also change again to another type of bulletin. So after that, you can also use what you call the numbering. Numbers, like this is where we have the Roman numerals. We have the real numbers. Then we have like ABCD and so on. So if I use this, like I get that, I get 1, 2. These numbers will come automatic. Even the bullets will come automatic. The moment you press a new line, enter the new line, then you will be able to get all this automatically. Then the other thing we're talking about is something to do with current list. This is where you have the list of items. You can either use the numbers bulletin, but we have the list and sub list. Like if you remember, we talked about folders and subfolders, or you have a set and a subset. So likewise, even in Microsoft Word, you may have the numbers, like you have the numbers, say this, and then you want to use what you call, like, something like this, where you have this, I have that, and then you have, like, this is used when you have like more than true value. For example, when you are writing an exam, or when you are writing you have a question which has, it's question 1, it has like, this is question 6, maybe I can say question 5, I say what is oxygen. What is the oxygen? Then when I go to part that is oxygen, that is 5 part A, I say 5 part A. So then part B, I put another question, part C, like that. So we use this one, we use an options which has A, B, C within a certain number by using this multi-level list. This will create a multi-level list to organize items or create an outline. You can also change the look of the individual levels in your list, or add numbering or headings to your document. So after looking at that, the other thing we're going to talk about is what we call the alignment. So alignment, we have the 4 types of alignment. The first one is called alignment left. This one, it will align your contents with the left margin, like it will align each and everything to the left margin. So by default, all the characters, everything, whenever you start typing in Microsoft Word, by default you are using what you call alignment left, because you start from the left by following the rules of the margin. So after that, if you want to say you want to do alignment center, this one will center your content on the page. Now, like for example, if I select some and then I select alignment center, it will have to align, it will have to put that selected or that highlighted word into the center of the page. If I select alignment light, this one will align the word to the right of the margin. This one will do what? It will align the contents with the right margin. And then we have justified. Justified is the combination. This one is the combination of both left and right. This is it's used to distribute your text evenly between the margin. Like justified text gives you your document clean, crisp edges so that it looks more polished. So this one you combine all the other ones there, left and right alignment. So after looking at different alignment, I can bring this back to left alignment. So the other thing we talk about is the spacing, line and paragraph spacing. As you look at this, the space in between, like I have some Alex, I have busy James. So that space, that space in between here, that space, the one I'm talking about, is what we call the line spacing. That's what we call line spacing. So when you want to increase the line spacing, by default you can come to the home tab and then go to spacing, and then you can see right now I'm using the first one, which is 1.0. To increase the line spacing, you can have like 1.15, 1.5, or 2. As I hover on all this, you can see how the space is increasing. Or you can go and do custom line spacing by putting this alignment, the number of spacing before and after line spacing, then you can all configure it here. So I like to use the line spacing of 1.5. So it helps me to this is the one I like because you can easily read your data values, and the spacing is somehow convenient. So the other thing we're talking about is what we call indent. Indent is, we have two types of indent. We have decrease and increase indent. This is where you move your paragraph closer to the margin. Like when you move your paragraph, when you move your words, when you move your values closer to the margin. We have different margin. We have margin left and margin right that we focus on mostly. So when you highlight this and then you say increase, it will take all that. Why is it taking even this one? Because they have the same property. They are all using this type of bulletin. These are what we call ordered, I think, an ordered list. So this is like, increase that, then decrease the margin. This one take the word to the left of the margin, whereas this one takes the words to the right of the margin. Then we have the shading, all of that is the theme color. You can use the theme color. Then from there you can also supply the border. The border, we have all borders, like all border, top border, and so on. So when you click here, you select the left border, and then you can use all that, like all the borders and so on. Then you can sort the values. You can sort either in ascending or descending order. It's up to you. You have to sort. When you sort these values, descending order, it takes the first value, like with the first value will be the one with the first character, which is behind in the alphabetical order. and then the last value will be the one with the first character in the front of the alphabetical order. As you can see, A, B, C. Now you see they are in descending order. But when I select this, just select one and then select ascending order now, and then you sort. Now this one will do what? I must first select all of them. When I select the ascending order, now this one will align your data values in ascending order. As you can see, I have A, B, and then H. So after looking at the different tools which are found into the home tab, the other one is about the style. We can do a lot of style, starting with normal, spacing, heading 1, title, and so on. Then we can also use the editing. Editing, we have options like find, go to, and so on. So if I want to find something, I can click on find, then I go ahead and find for the word busy. When I press that, now you can see busy automatically, it's highlighted here. After that, I go ahead and press enter, then I can now go to busy. Then if I want to replace that, go to replace, I go to busy, then I say replace with Francis. So I'm replacing it with Francis, then I say select all, then everything has been done. Now you can see where I had busy, I have now Francis James. So this one selecting, this one we have where you can select all the items, or select certain objects, or select all the selecting all the text with similar formatting. So then the other thing is what you call the dictate. Dictate, this one uses your voice to type your voice typing to author contents. For example, I go to a new line here, then after that I remove the bulletin, then I come and use this, then I use the microphone, then I say, hey, today it's a good day, I want you to type for me all this which I've just talked. Hey guys, today is a good day, and I'm here to lecture something about Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is an application powered by Microsoft Office. It is one of the packages after Excel, PowerPoint, and the Access. We use Microsoft Word for editing documents, so it is very important that our clients, the members of Tech Talks, get to know about Microsoft Word. So after you stop, now when you do like that, this enables you, like if you are not able to type with your hands, if you are maybe slow, you can always use this option to talk as the words are being written automatically. This will help you always to find what you want. This will always to write what is in your mind. You have just to talk. Don't mind about typing, don't mind about the speed. I can give another example. I can maybe first remove all that. Then I have the list of teachers in Table Talks. Maybe I can talk something more about teachers. Then maybe I can start. Once upon a time, when I was still in Uganda, and by then I was in a secondary school, we had some good teachers who used to teach different subjects like chemistry, biology, and physics. These teachers were so much amazing because they encouraged us to read hard so that in the future we can excel in our academics. And they gave me the morale. Some of them were my role model, and that's why up to now I still use the science that I got from them. So I encourage Table Talks teachers to go ahead and same time encourage our students, and I also encourage the students to utilize the teachers on Table Talks website so that they can really give you the morale and the career guidance that you need to excel in your dreams. So now you can see everything is organized, and it says once upon a time I was when I was still in Uganda, and by then I was in secondary school. We had some good teachers who used to teach different subjects like chemistry, biology, and physics. These teachers were so much amazing because they encouraged us to really read hard so that in the future we can excel in our academic, and they gave me the morale. Some of them was my role model. So now you can see you can easily come up with different paragraphs using this voice input tool in Microsoft Word. So we have the other one is the editor. The editor, this one enables you to do spelling and grammar correction, refinement, where you do things to do with clarity, conciseness, formality, inclusiveness, punctuation, resume, and different things. So you can also check the score of your editor. Right now it's 0%. So normally everything is fine, and after that, knowing how to do this, you can now edit, review your work by editing any changes. You can comment on any work that you have, and then you can at the same time share the work with someone on the network, especially if you are using Microsoft Office packages, and especially the 365 packages of Microsoft. So after looking at the home tab with different tools, what about insert tab? Insert tab is also one of the most important tools in Microsoft Word, because the first one we have the page, the cover page. The cover page, here you select the cover page. We have different sample, we have different themes for different cover pages, so you can select one of them. Then we have the blank page. Like we have the blank page. This one create automatically the blank page that you can use to write on. This is what we call the blank page, like nothing on this page. And then the other thing you can do is break the page. Breaking the page is when you have something, or you have a page, you want to break it into two, and of course, like you have maybe an item and then you break it into two equal sign. So whenever you have a page, you can duplicate it and bring another page by using the break page. Then the other one, we have the tables. You can insert the table, and by clicking insert, then you get a dialog box window, and on this dialog box window you put the number of columns and then put the number of rows. When we are talking about some rows and columns in Excel, I think right now you understand what a column is and what a row is. We said columns, these are vertical lines, data arrangement that move from top to bottom, whereas the rows, these are horizontal data arrangement which move from left to right. So like here, when I select the number of columns to be 5 and then the number of rows, say maybe to be 100. So now when I go ahead and say auto fit window, you can choose that, then I press OK. Now you can see I have what? I have my table already inserted with the number of columns and then the number of rows from 1 up to 100. That's what to do with table. So whenever you insert a table, you get another tabs, like the two tabs which will appear on in your ribbon. The first one is the table design. So you can do a lot of table design, like starting with the style options, and then we can also have what we call the layout. The layout is about table grid lines, like select table grid lines. We have draw tables, can draw the table, and then automatically can draw tables. You can draw as many as you can, but you have to be organized. You can erase different action that you've made, and then you can also go and delete the table, delete the tables, delete that table, and delete that one, and then delete this one, and delete the table. So we can use all these tools. Even this one, we can go ahead and delete it. We can delete the table. So we can use all that when you go to table layouts. So After looking on how we can insert a table, the next thing is pictures. We can insert a picture. You can get a picture from your computer, either document. You need to look for sample pictures, and if you don't get the picture, you can first go and get a picture anywhere, either online, but you need to learn how to insert the pictures. Then shapes, we have different shapes. Like I have rectangle, I can go ahead and draw the rectangle, and then that's the shape. We have different shapes. I can have the something like a sphere. I can have the oval. I can have oval. That can have an arrow. I can have what? I can have this one, arrow, like this. All that's what we call the shapes, and all these shapes also have the shape format, which has the shape style, the word art styles, accessibility, arrangement, and so on. So after knowing how to insert different shapes, and then we have also different models and the smart chart and so on. So for now, we're going to stop here. In the next video, we shall go ahead with different tools under the insert tabs. We shall look at how to deal with charts, smart art. Then we'll look at how to get online media that to do with videos. We shall see how we can use Wikipedia in Microsoft Word, and the comment, headers and footers, the page numbers, text box, and many other tools, so that we can be on our fingertip and get more skills. For now, let's stop here. We love you guys, and we really encourage you to continue using Table Talks, because it's the source of knowledge, especially in technology. Thank you guys. Let's see you in the next video.